Hello, you've reached the Supervillains Union Membership Help Desk. This is Villain McBeardface, operator 05350. How may I help you? Oh, you're considering sending sharks with fin-mounted laser cannons to melt your previous carrier because they annoyed you. That sounds delightful. But I'll tell you what, how about I tell you the 4 things you need to know to switch carriers and keep the phones you already own. The potential problems with BYOP, how to check and see if your current phones are even compatible with the new carrier, the difference between owning an unlocked phone versus having to ask your carrier to unlock a carrier-locked device. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Hold off on the sharks, though. We'll get you squared away. Let me just run this intro graphic for our viewers here. I'll get right back to you. If any of these videos have helped you, please consider hitting us with that thumbs up, clicking that subscribe button, and hitting that notification bell so you'll be notified when we upload the latest content or when we launch our latest contests and give away awesome free stuff. Oh, man. Oh, y'all never believe the day I've had. Some people want to take over the world. I just want to show you how to switch carriers and keep your phones in the process, something called BYOP, or bring your own phone, sometimes also referred to as BYOD, or bring your own device, though if you search that up on the internet, it's most commonly associated with using your personal phone or laptop as your work phone or work laptop, a practice I highly recommend you don't get into. But that's a subject for a whole other video. So let's get right to it. These are the 4 things you need to do before you make the switch. Number 1, will your current devices work on the new carrier? There are a couple things you need to know. There are websites I can show you which will tell you if your phone is compatible with the new network. Sites like keymobile.com. You just set your country, then type in the name of the phone or phones you have, and then get a listing of network carriers in that country which support your phone. And most carriers actually make it pretty easy if you want to dive into your phone settings menu and look up something called your IMEI, or International Mobile Equipment Identity. The carriers will have a page on their site like this one. This is Verizon's, and it allows you to input your IMEI and make sure that phone is compatible with their network. Now, in many cases, this is good, but some carriers, Verizon, I'm looking at you, are very picky about the phones they allow on their network. Compatibility and usability are 2 different things. Your device may be compatible with Verizon's network, but they may tell you that it has not yet been approved for use on their network. And often Verizon has their own versions of devices marked by UW at the end of the name. So you have the Motorola One 5G Ace that we reviewed here and the Motorola One 5G UW Ace. So after you've confirmed compatibility, you may want to call your prospective carrier and confirm that phone is approved to run on their network. Now, step 2, which could for all intents and purposes be step 1, is to call your current carrier and ask for something called an unlock code. Often, when you buy your phone direct from your carrier, in the service menus, there's some code inserted which locks the phone to that carrier's infrastructure so that it can't be used with another carrier unless you enter a certain code to unlock it. These are also called carrier restrictions, and some companies have specific policies in place addressing these restrictions. Verizon, for example, has the policy clearly stated on their website. In order to mitigate theft and other fraudulent activity, newly purchased devices are locked to work exclusively on the Verizon network. No worries though, as their postpaid and prepaid policies both state that these phones are locked for only 60 days after purchase and are then automatically unlocked. AT&T has a similar 60-day policy, but further states that you cannot have made more than 5 unlock requests in a single year, and the phone must be attached to an account in good standing and not have been reported as lost or stolen. Also, you can only unlock a device that has been paid off if you're on an installment plan, and if you're on prepaid with them, your phone has to have had paid service for at least 6 months. T-Mobile is similar to AT&T, but with a 40-day waiting period and no more than 2 unlock requests per line in a single year. They actually have an app that you can use to complete the unlocking process once you meet all of their requirements for unlocking. And as you look at the prepaid market, Boost, Metro, Cricket Wireless, you'll have to have had service with them for varying amounts of time, beginning at 6 months with some and up to 18 months with others in order to unlock a phone. Step 3 is a quick one. Don't cancel service with your current carrier before calling the new carrier to start service. Many times the new carrier will go through a process with the old carrier to port your number into their service. You'll complicate matters if you cancel one before starting with another. Fourth and final, if you currently have a 5G phone, know that the landscape is changing and the phone you have may not work with all of the 5G frequencies your new carrier supports. That isn't a huge deal for the most part. You may not get all of the service available to you, say, if you're moving to a carrier which supports millimeter wave, mid-band, and sub-6. Those are 3 different flavors of 5G, but you have a phone which doesn't support millimeter wave like TCL's 20 Pro 5G, which only supports mid-band and low-band spectrums, aka N41 and N71 respectively. Like I said, maybe not a huge deal since in this example, millimeter wave is really not ubiquitous right now, with sub-6 5G being the flavor that's most widely deployed, well, sub-6 and mid-band. Now, I want to leave you with some side notes to porting your number, a sort of FAQ if you will. First up, call your old provider after the port is done and your new service is up and running and confirm that your old service has in fact been terminated. Next, how long does it take to port your number? Generally 1 business day, but it could be much quicker, as little as 2.5 hours in some cases. Will you be able to use your phone during the process? Yes, with one caveat. You can make outgoing calls, but incoming calls will go to the new number. Be careful calling 911 because an operator won't be able to call you back or trace you based on your phone. So be sure to give good location information to them during your call if you're able. You can port cell phone numbers, but did you know that some carriers will let you port your landline numbers? And last FAQ, can a carrier refuse to port your number? Nope. According to the FCC and on their website, once a valid porting request has been made, the old carrier cannot refuse to port a number even if that individual owes money for an outstanding balance or a termination fee. Keep in mind now that taking your phones with you, BYOP, is separate from porting your number. So while the company may require that you pay off a phone, which you might think of as an outstanding balance, that is not the same thing as porting your number, because you can always just port that number and you're still paying for those phones and they won't unlock those phones. So those are 2 different things. Make sure, let's be clear. I want you to understand that porting a number and bringing your phone with you, having them unlock it, 2 separate issues. So that's been the things you need to know if you're going to switch carriers and you want to keep your hardware, your phones, and move to a new carrier. I'm Tshaka Armstrong for reviews.org. Don't take it lightly that you've watched here with us. I will catch you, or rather, villain McBeardface. We'll catch you on the next video.